For an old school Italian cafe right in the heart of Ridgewood, Queens, you'll have to try my favorite place, Dolce Bean Cafe. They serve the best espresso, coffee, cappuccino, latte, all imported directly from Italy. Their paninis and Italian pastries are off the charts. They're delicious, and gelato too. Dolce Bean Cafe in Ridgewood, Queens. Everybody try it.
This is the Cats and Pudding Podcast. A melting pot of pudding. And now, here's Jen.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Cats and Pudding. And today, oh my God, I've been saying this all day. Oh my God, I have a great guest host, and I have a beautiful guest on my show today. And my friend Renee is here with me today.
It's me again.
Here she is.
I wanted to put my pin.
It's like Tickle Me Elmo is here again.
I wanted to put my Italian-American Justice League pin.
You know what? I don't have a pin. I'm like upset that I don't have a pin. I am an honorary member. I'm a real full member.
I'm going to make sure you get more than a pin.
I paid my dues for the year, and I have stickers all over my house, but I have no pins.
Okay, I'll give you my pin. I'll give you my pin.
I'll get one from Drew.
I got my fucking button a long time ago.
I want a special pin from Drew.
She needs a button.
I do need a button.
I'll give you a button. You know what? Speaking about buttons, let's talk about something. Because for the people that don't know who Jackie Orena is.
It's Orena.
It's Orena, yeah.
Yeah,
she likes to put emphasis on that for whatever reason.
Yeah, I like to, jazz it up. Jackie is the granddaughter of Little Vic Orena.
Okay.
And when Jackie and I met back in the spring, early spring, she told me her grandfather's story. Within the first 20 minutes, we were like sisters that never even knew we were related, Same family story, same background. But she shared her story about her grandfather, who is a 91-year-old, really, really wonderful man. He was given 400 years. He has dementia. He is bound to a wheelchair. He's blind. And he was assaulted something terrible in the FCI and received staples in his head. So while Jackie's telling me this story, for me, it touched me because my father died of dementia. And here's a man, 91 years old, 35 years in, and he's, and in my opinion, and it might not mean much to everybody, in my opinion, I feel like they're wrongly holding him. For medical reasons. For the medical reasons. Yeah. I understand.
First of all, he can't defend himself. He has dementia. And for medical reasons, he should be home with his family.
And he's blind.
And what is he going to do? What is he going to organize a heist? What do they think he's
doing? Well, if he does.
Really.
You know what the thing is? It's an excuse at the end of the day. Right. We see that people are let out on compassionate release all the time. He does check off every box.
Who's getting let out? Little Vic Orena is getting let out too in 2 weeks. Yeah.
That's awesome.
They'll finally let. He's 94 years old.
That's awesome.
Finally, after all these years.
During those times too, we already know that they were given unrealistic, sentencing. Everything was a RICO conspiracy. This, that. It
was a feather in their caps.
Yes.
These DAs.
So,
and the FBI was horrible at that point.
And it goes even deeper than that. Yeah. But not even to get into that without the cloudiness of the cases. Looking at these people and being like, they deserve a little compassion. Yeah. They're elderly. Yep. They can't take care of themselves, so you think someone in a prison can?
And they're being attacked.
They are not
in a place that they're supposed to be.
They're not safe. Yep. They're not getting proper food or health care or anything like that. So it's frustrating for me because in one case they'll say, well, you know what? He committed those crimes 35 years ago. When do we look at it like, okay, he's not the same person he was 35 years ago.
And he's been in here a lifetime.
Yes. And when you have no idea your own identity, and you can't even stand up on your own.
Stand up for yourself.
You can't feed yourself.
Speak about it.
You can't go to the bathroom.
He can't even come to the parole board and even speak for himself to say,
he doesn't even know. He can't identify his family members at this point.
No.
Okay, so you have a man like this incarcerated in a prison where it's difficult. I can't even really go on a visit because he can't sit there that long. You have to feed him. He can't go to the bathroom. You can't assist him. And he doesn't want me to see him that way.
Yeah. Right.
So he'll tell me not to come visit. So he has that pride too. And he's like, well, just pick me up. Yeah. I could come home now.
Just pick me up. We went on a trip together in Boston and he called and she didn't speak to him for a little while. So to be able I got on the phone with him, and I promised I wasn't gonna cry.
She makes me cry when she cries, so I try not to look at her.
Him and the love he has for his granddaughter, but he doesn't even know. Sometimes it's his wife. And then I told him I had 4 grandkids. He was like, "Well, who are you kidding? You don't have 4 grandkids," because he thought I was talking to his granddaughter. For me, there's so much of like. It's her grandfather. I want him to win. I'm on this mission with her. I signed up. I'm on the mission. I'm not like I don't jump ship. But it's really heartbreaking that they're not letting this man come home. And he's a papa. And it's heartbreaking. And I'm sorry.
No.
I know.
I'm sorry. I just feel like I know him.
Can I ask you a question? Is your dad still alive?
Yes.
Okay.
And, this is part of the story, too. I was like 8 or 9 years old when all this stuff started happening. So my grandfather got arrested. And I'm like, I can't look at you.
No, I don't look at you. I don't.
If you guys all start crying, I'm going to start crying.
I know. And she makes it, it's so funny
But you
because
know what? We have a reason to cry.
As a kid, 8, 9 years old, all of this happened. It was headlines. It was all over the place. And for me, I never saw the person that was in the headlines. I'm looking at my grandfather, who is the greatest grandfather in the world. I mean, picked us up.
How old are you now?
Do I have to tell you that? He's been away for 35 years.
Okay, all right. So
I'm in my 40s.
Early 40s.
All right, just
very
around
early.
40s. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's been away for 34 years. So 8, 9 years old, all this stuff happening. You don't look at the same person that's in headlines. You see the human side. And I'm like, he's the greatest person in the world. He was my strength of my whole family. He was the center. And we would have Sunday dinners and family vacations, and family was everything. I mean, my cousins, and to this day, I still never had a fight with any of my cousins. Like, that's wild. We're like siblings that just love each other and will do anything for each other. So he instilled certain values in us. He was taken away, and then shortly after, the FBI came and took my father, and he was facing similar charges. So at that point, at 9 years old, I mean, for a young girl who looked at the men in their family as strength, we need our fathers. A lot of people think otherwise, but they do play an important role. Yeah. And sometimes you don't realize, if you never really had a father, maybe you don't feel like you're missing anything.
Right.
But when you do have a father and that backbone, and then it's taken away from you, you're losing everything.
Yes.
Yep.
So for me to experience that, I developed all this anxiety, panic disorder, all these things because I didn't know. I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel secure anymore. And at the time, I didn't realize, my father ended up getting acquitted on a lot of the charges that my grandfather was in for.
Thank God.
So the thing with that, he did do 10 years. They hit him with 4 indictments or whatever, and you know how it is with the government. So they did hit him with some charges, and he did do some time. So for me now, growing up, going to visiting rooms, and that was like, all I knew, as a lot of people. And I think what changed for me over the time is, you read articles. I saw that my dad had an acquittal. I didn't really know the details of it.
Right.
I just knew there was FBI corruption, there was this, there was that. And then as I got older and my grandfather created this new character for me, I think our relationship changed. So as our relationship changed, I started to really feel bad for this man that was acting like a child. It was like, when your older loved ones start asking you the questions, you're like, did I become the parent?
Yes, you're a parent now.
Yeah, so I would hear these things from him and what he needed and what he wanted, and I felt terrible. And I'm like, I have to do something. So I started this fight. My family has been trying for years to, get... There was exculpatory evidence withheld from his trial that acquitted everyone else. So once there were 19 other men that were acquitted based on this information, it just seemed very unfair. So I started diving in, doing my own research, meeting with reform groups. And the more they would tell me no, I just couldn't understand it. I'm like, here we have people let out all the time. They've committed crazy violent crimes.
Heinous crimes.
A lot of things that weren't just conspiracy. And I just kept hitting a brick wall, and the more they told me no, the more I've been fighting. I've been blessed because a lot of the people, I've been doing podcasts or even connecting with certain people to see that support, because you don't have that. I lived in Long Island. You have to understand, like, my family was like the only ones in the block or the neighborhood that had anything like this happening.
Right.
It
wasn't like if you were in Brooklyn, Queens, Howard Beach,
exactly.
whatever, that there was other people
you had
that
a community.
relating to you.
You had a community of people.
Like isolated.
Exactly.
So,
my friends were like, what? And
your father was in jail. Your grandfather, like I was getting letters from 3 people from prison at one time.
Listen, when
everyone knew a guy.
Commissary, I'd be. Listen, I bought a mansion in my commissary.
Everybody knew people that were, so in my community, not so much. Right. So I felt like an outsider. And then even people would say, like, don't go to their house, don't hang out with them, you're not allowed to play with them. So it was definitely different, growing up. So as I'm getting now older and uncovering a lot of the stuff involving it, I just realized, like, there's so many people that are outside that community that have reached out and are showing support and love and compassion. I mean, we're talking about sick, elderly people. Yeah. I'm not asking for much. The man's 91 years old. He's costing the government more money by being in there, the surgeries, the medications, everything. Yep. I just want one more Sunday dinner with him.
Amen. Right.
Like, is that, he can't do anything. He can't harm anyone,
right.
and
he can do.
it just feels like.
He's so precious.
I know.
Let me tell you. No, he's so precious. You have no idea how to hear the way he was talking, and he just wants to be picked up, and he just talks about Sunday dinner, what he wants. It don't matter to me, a hamburger. And to hear he just wants to be with his family, and it's so devastating. My father could never come back. I mean, my father died, out of the penitentiary. But I lost him for good. I won't be able to sleep if that's how she has to lose her grandfather. So I got to fight too.
Right.
You know what I mean? We have the ability, having the platform. So she needs the platform. She needs for people to understand this is a 91-year-old man, blind, wheelchair bound, with dementia, who was assaulted.
Man gonna do? What could they possibly?
He's not capable. He's not capable.
Let me ask you a question.
He wants a hamburger.
Yeah.
And now when you who is going to, like, is he getting parole board hearings at this point? Is he in state or federal right now?
He's in federal.
Okay.
I've applied for compassionate release. It was denied several times. I just keep trying.
Where is he?
He's in Devens, Massachusetts. So, it's funny because they'll say he's in a medical facility. And then I speak to him and it's like, he's like, nobody could dial the phone for me if I don't hear from him for weeks, and trying to communicate with someone with dementia, you don't know what's a real story or not.
Right.
He'll say, like, these people are mean to me. This one did this. I mean, for example, there was a situation where somebody on his floor hit him with something over the head and he's telling me, and I'm like, no, this ain't real. They would have called me. They would have told me.
They didn't call you.
They didn't call me. They didn't contact the family. And I'm calling. And I finally get someone on the phone. I'm like, well, was there an incident? We can't talk about it because it's still open. So I go, there was an incident.
Yep.
So I had to write to them requesting his medical files, pay them whatever fees. A month later.
They have the balls there for fucking money.
Yes.
They didn't even make that phone call. That's got to be illegal.
Then I get a box.
Sorry,
and in the box of his medical records for the past 6 months, I had to dig through and find a file that he went in and got staples and stitches.
Imagine.
And they still don't tell you the details. So, it's not even against, listen, I know they're not capable of families have a hard time dealing with their loved ones with dementia.
How are they dealing with him?
So how is a prison giving them the proper love and care? And at the end of the day,
how are they not calling the family?
But at the end of the day,
what about if he would have died?
Yeah, well,
on their fucking watch.
They don't care. That happens every day. And to them, it's just another number. Yeah, they're another number.
Guess what? He's not just another number. He's somebody's papa. He's somebody's father. He's not just another number, and that is frustrating for me.
Well, it feels like at this point, the only people that are serving the sentence are the families.
Yeah.
It's only us because he doesn't even know where he is.
Yeah. He doesn't know what's
He's
happening.
just, innocently asking to be picked up. And,
for a hamburger.
My heart's broken.
Yeah. He's like, you could feed me whatever you want. I'm like, do you want me to make your famous fillet sauce? I have your recipe. I've been making it for years. He's like, I don't care if you give me a hamburger. I just want to be with you.
It was the cutest thing I ever heard in my life. Like, he says, I just want to come home. To hear that is devastating. You know what I mean? And I know she was so strong on that phone call. I'm in the corner crying. I couldn't even handle it because I feel her pain for a person whose father had what her grandfather had.
How is your dad dealing with this right now?
You know, it's hard for them. My dad went away for a long time too, and he feels like he missed his children growing up,
Right.
you know? So everything in a sense was taken from him on top of his father, you know? And then you have the situation where even when he was done with his sentence, they banished him from the state of New York. So I never got to live with my father again, you know, from an 8-year-old girl. And they do that, and they, you know...
They take them
But they'll
away from
blame
you.
the families, and whatever the reason is, I understand. But there's a big difference when it comes to doing the right, humane, compassionate thing. I just think as a society, we have to say, this man can't hurt anybody. He can't commit a crime. He's in no condition.
He can't
drive.
do anything.
He can't even have a conversation. They're listening to his calls.
Right,
They know,
right. There's
you
nothing
know.
he could do.
The most he's going to do is demand a hamburger.
Right, that's it.
Bugger.
Poor baby.
Yeah, so
Oh.
it's
precious.
very sad. It's hard, but it's also, you know, just this journey has been, for me, I'm never going to stop. I mean, it's my grandfather. I would hope that, you know, just the same way he taught us, you fight for your loved ones, you do everything you can. And I'm just willing to keep going. I'm just hoping that people hear and could show compassion. And if there's anyone that could help, you know.
Please,
Yeah.
if there's anybody that could help. No, absolutely. And
Now,
I told you I'm on
is
the
there
mission.
anybody that right now? I mean, I went through this. I mean, it's not on this level that you are, but when my ex-husband was in prison, he was doing a federal time and he was serving concurring sentences, and he got screwed so bad because of that reason. The federal judge gave him 2 years, and then the concurring sentence gave him 3.5. They wouldn't come down on the sentence that we were trying. We're saying, look, the federal judge, who's the ones who are prosecuting him, and he's getting this other charge from the state, they would not budge. Not budge.
Yeah.
So he wound up doing more time than he should have done the first time he went to jail than anybody else on his case. And he wasn't even high up on this case. He was maybe mid-level. You know,
is what
and
they do.
it was not fair.
Well,
They
you have
only
you have
reward-
the letter OC, and they
Right,
believe
that's
that. And you know, there's things that I understand, and there's things that I say, okay, you know, like my father had to do his sentence. He said he was guilty, whatever. Her grandfather did 35 years. He's done his life.
Right.
That's his life. He did a
gave
life
his
sentence.
How much more? But
It's a life
he has
sentence.
no life
There's
right
no
now.
life left, you know.
There's no quality of life
No,
right now.
no.
It's
The
terrible.
last thing, like
It's for the family at this point. It's
Absolutely.
not for
It's
him. His
family
enjoyment.
suffering. You're punishing the family.
Yeah,
now
it's not
to
like
watch
they're
this.
freeing a man to go live the rest of his life. I mean,
right,
he's
like on a tropical island with
Right,
chicks
where
and
is he going?
bikinis.
He's not
Yeah.
doing anything but except he wants a hamburger. The poor guy.
Right. He
That's
doesn't
it.
even want his favorite sauce. He didn't care what he gets. He
He's
just
not
wants to
picky.
be with his family.
So have you seen him recently?
Well, I'm gonna go back against his will and go see him, drag him
driving.
out for a visit, because you know. But it's hard. It's a lot more work having them move him, and with the dementia too, if you disrupt it, it almost makes it worse.
Yes.
because
Yeah.
then
That is
he
true.
doesn't want to leave you.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, and he's like, just take me home. He doesn't
Yeah.
understand
Yep.
where he is, or that you have to leave him.
Yeah. Oof.
And then it's hard. So I've had to stand. Like even 5 or 6 years ago, it got to the point where I would have to stand there with him at a visit until somebody could bring him up, because and he thinks he could go out the door with me. He doesn't
Right.
understand
He
that
doesn't
he's stuck
understand.
there.
He wants to
Yeah.
come. He
My
wants to
father
leave.
was-
And
He's
that
like,
for
"Okay,
me,
let's go."
I'm going to be honest, it's the same experience I had at a visit when I was 9 years old. I mean, I would cry leaving them there
Yeah.
and watching them take them away behind the wall. So now I have to
the
leave
worst.
them there,
Yep.
Yeah.
and I'm the one, you know.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I
That's
know
the
for
worst.
me, when my father was in the nursing home at the end, he just wanted to go home.
Yeah.
And to leave him there. And then, unfortunately my father died there. He didn't get to die at home. So it's kind of like, it's a mission. It's a mission. And the mission is just save the papa. Like, save Papa. Like, it's just, he deserves to come home. He's an old man. Like, how we're mistreating our elderly.
What is the recourse that you are doing? Like, have you been doing or has anybody been advocating for you?
I've been doing everything. Anything that you could apply for, letters, and I've filed for compassionate release, clemency. I am exploring everything on the case. I mean, I'm diving really deep back, being that there's so many acquittals with the information that was withheld. That in itself should have gotten him a retrial, but they denied him like every right that a person should have. You hear about it on the news, like, oh, if that was true, they'll just open up the case and look at it. Well, it is true. We have documented evidence that let other people out. You're just never giving him the opportunity to present it. So he was denied a lot of his basic human rights at this point too.
And what about, you have a lawyer involved right now? Okay.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people from the league have been helping me. I have another wonderful woman in Texas that's been helping me with the clemency stuff. I have a wonderful woman named Topeka who's an advocate for me on the clemency. So, I'm doing all of the things and I'm moving forward the best way I can and just praying on it every day and hoping that new doors open and that somebody will have a little compassion and
Somebody
that
will.
God
I
will,
believe so.
God
I
will
believe
grace
so.
him with.
When is the next time you could apply for? Because
I have one pending now. I have everything pending now.
Let's pray.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's pray.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah,
I
whole
said,
lot of holy.
my friend's dad is coming. I think he might be home this week. They said he was never coming home. He had a life sentence.
God bless
and
him.
he's home now. He's coming home now. Thank God. But he's 94.
Yeah.
Same
But he's still home.
Same thing.
No, I mean, listen, it's horrible because they take so many years away from these people's lives that they didn't deserve to be there in the first place.
right.
And a lot of those cases have the same corrupt FBI agents and stuff behind it.
It's the same one.
So exactly.
It's all
So
the
it's
same
the
ones.
same group of people that were in charge of orchestrating a lot of this corruption, and these people never deserved to be there in the first place.
Not at this.
And
not
now,
for this.
yeah, and now, I mean, for him coming out at that age, it's a blessing that he gets to come home,
Right.
but at the same time,
But now he's 94.
they
What is
took-
that? What life does he
they
have
took
left?
so much from these people and their families, and it's disgusting.
Well,
and
you're a part too.
And
'cause
honestly,
there's a
they don't
lot
even
for
know
her
what
to
kind of
talk about,
condition
Yeah.
that he's
Yeah.
in
But
either, because they haven't
we're
seen
one.
him because he
Right.
doesn't. He didn't want them to, like your grandfather
Yeah.
didn't want them
So,
to see him.
what's his reasoning for coming home? What, the compassion?
The age or the,
I believe it's compassionate release. I'm not
And he
really
was
sure.
given life sentence.
life. That
Well,
was-
her
Yeah.
grandfather was given 400 years. So I think
yeah,
it
no,
was-
I mean that's.
I don't know if that
at the
is-
end of
is
the
that
day,
life?
I mean,
No. Is there a difference? Because they give you
it
life
depends.
with
Old
500
law,
years.
new law, but I think they're all under the same
Okay.
kind of umbrella.
Yeah, okay.
And the thing is, I mean, listen. You see stories like that. To me, I don't get like, oh, why not my grandfather? I get happy because I'm like, that gives me more of a chance
and hope.
to see that, because at the end of the day, those families are my family. You know, we're all, this is the same battle.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more people than just my grandfather. And starting this journey, I'm like, my biggest thing is if I could help him, I want to help other people moving forward, because you don't realize how many people are just like me out there.
The elderly are the ones that really need it, because they're the ones that are staying there when they could just go home. If they have a family and they want to go home to their family, I mean, you know what I mean? If they're a mind, body, and soul, and they don't want to go home.
Yeah, and these families need support.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's not easy.
Yeah.
You know,
No, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Oh, Jackie, I hope, I pray for you.
Thank you.
There's, I know there's no words to console, like what's going on. It's horrible. I went through it at a different level than you did. It was my husband, not my dad or my grandfather, but it was hard on my
it's
children.
never
It was
easy,
horrible
and you're
on
watching
my
your
children,
kids suffer.
watching my kids suffer and what they lost. For 10, he was gone for almost 10 years, like your
Yeah,
dad,
it's like-
and it was horrible to see
It's
them
awful.
and still the impact.
It's
that
awful.
it's
Yeah,
had.
it's absolutely
It's
terrible.
awful.
It still affects them.
people look at it like, oh, well, then they came home, and it's permanent loss of, the most important thing we have, if you think about it, is our memories with the people that we
Yeah.
love. So you are missing a whole gap of growing up, like feeling that love, having that. And people say, like, you could talk to your father on the phone, you can go visit him. It's not the same.
It's not
It's
the
not.
same.
It's not
you
the
can't even
same.
touch them.
But
hardly.
they can't touch them. And for me, I had so much anxiety, I wasn't able to go on a plane.
Yeah.
We wrote letters. I submitted medical records saying that I had these conditions, these
and
anxieties.
not even to move
They
them.
moved them
They
further.
Put it away.
He
That's
moved them to
that's
Leavenworth,
what happened
Kansas.
To my friend's
Yeah.
father.
Not
moved
us.
them
We got lucky with
further.
that. We got lucky
further.
with that.
How do you do that?
That's what they did to my father.
It's disgusting. And I
And
always
there's
say,
actually, so there's a law. I don't know what kind of law it is, but like my father, they had to keep him within a 500-mile radius because of his illness, and we couldn't travel. So there
Yeah,
so there
I
are
guess
things
being
that they're
my
doing.
dad was younger and healthy,
Right.
like, it didn't apply to him.
Right, I know that. That's the
Boston,
fucking
I guess,
issue.
is within the mile.
It's within
Yeah.
500.
But most of my family lives in Florida now, so it's
Right,
not
right,
really.
not
Mom and dad live in
Yeah,
Florida.
so it's not really in the radius of.
based on who visits and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, where he
right.
was,
Correct.
got in trouble. So
Oh, you have. I know. I asked you don't have children, Jack.
No.
Right? Are you married?
no. Yeah. So for
We're
me,
gonna get him home.
We're gonna
she
get
can
him
walk
home
it down
so
the
you can
aisle.
walk- yes, so we can
he
get
can
you
walk him
married.
down the aisle. We're gonna have Grandpa on one arm and
he's
Dad
gonna be
on the
rolling.
other.
We'll have to be rolling him down.
That's okay. I'll push. I'll push.
That's terrible. I'm so sorry that you're going through that. It's horrible, but my heart goes out to you. It's just, this poor man, he just doesn't deserve to be there. I mean, thank God he doesn't know what's going on. It's just more for you. That's horrible, and your family, what you guys have to go through, because it's probably ripping your heart out every
Yeah.
day.
Restraint is, probably, for me, it just is like so amazing to watch her fight the way that she does. For it's not even like her own life that she is fighting for her life, and she probably doesn't even realize it yet. But the way she's fighting for her grandfather, it's like, oh fucking yeah! It's like you want to cheer like the Rocky.
Every time, at first, every time they would say no, I would cry. I'd get upset. Every time he was denied, and then it got to a certain point.
How many times has he denied?
Oh God! I mean, we just kept reapplying over the years, So there's several times that he was denied, and in between, like doing it through the lawyers, I used to file myself through the prison. So there was like multiple applications going, and my uncle was working on his case with lawyers and trying to get him the appeal, and everything was denied. But when it got to a certain point, instead of crying, I'm like, no, I'm going to fight harder. Now I'm more upset. Now I'm going to dig deeper. Now I'm going to look into this. And it's just opening more doors and it's giving me more strength. And it's, making me want to do it for him and then help other people. Yeah. Because a lot of people, I'm realizing, don't have that strength or don't have the courage or don't know where to start. Because you when you see those documents and they're subpoenaed and whatever, and it says United States verse, how powerless do you feel?
Right.
I mean,
so
you think,
powerless.
like, how are you winning the entire United States of America? So for me to be able to, help, like, show people the strength and not give up. And then, hopefully open doors and show them the ways that they could try. I mean, for whatever reason, they have that against my grandfather. They want to stop every attempt, but at least if I could help others.
You know what? Should be discrimination against Italians. You know what the problem is? We need
Italian,
to, but it is.
This is a discrimination against
an elderly Italian person. Yes, it's elderly Italian.
Yeah,
and that is not fair.
No, it's not fair, Italian or not. But this is an
listen,
an elderly man.
During that time, I mean, we know how Italians were indicted, and they were treated a certain way. Yep. Whether people want to look at it or not, there's a lot of unfairness amongst all cultures.
Yes,
right?
All cultures.
So we are not allowed to say that as Italians, to say that we're treated.
Well, because you're not a true minority according to.
Well, you know what? The only reason why we're not a minority was because we came here during the World War II and built the country. Otherwise, we would have been a minority.
And we were told not to give them certain rates and not give them certain jobs and shun them out of communities and whatever. And that's the era that my grandfather grew up in. So you're looking at somebody, but
without papers.
Looking at somebody.
You know that? When somebody
without
calls you a
papers.
WAP, it means without papers.
I've never been called one.
No, but
you have papers.
You have papers.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah.
No, I've heard the term. I never knew what it meant.
Yeah,
but
during those times, they were in these communities. And listen, my grandfather lost all the men in his family from tuberculosis coming over here.
Yep.
So he was on his own with his mother. She was like 22 years old, and good luck growing up without a father during that era.
So he turned to a life that he had no
Listen,
choice.
He needed somebody to look up to.
Right.
And the men then were, they had class. They were people to look up to, and they looked out for you like a father. It was a different world. We're not talking about the riffraff that people talk about today. It was a different time, different community, and that's how we grew up.
It's different caliber of men at that time. Real men.
Yeah.
And real men at that time were in their 20s that you can't believe how they behaved and how they took care of
I know.
families at that
Yeah,
point.
took
I know.
care of their mothers. Took
Everyone.
care of their,
Everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But even, you know, they don't lose that character, I have to say. Even at 91,
No.
my
Yeah,
grandfather
he's
wants to make sure, you know, I'm like escorted here, I'm home, this, you know, it's
Yep.
so funny. It's like such a protective thing, you know?
Amen. You
Yeah.
know what?
So they don't lose their
He's still
character.
got a lot. He's still got a lot of life in him. I can hear it in him.
Yeah.
Like, he might not know, but he knows something. And what it seemed like to me is he knows family still. He still knows family.
Yeah.
Because all he talked about was his family. You know what I mean? So, listen, you know I'm on your side. And whatever I got to do, I'm going to do. And whatever, you know, people that I can get you in touch with to get your story out there, I'm going to do
appreciate
such
it.
as we did it today with Jennifer.
Yes.
Because it's not just, you know, I'm fighting for me. I'm fighting for you, of course.
You
But
should
I'm,
write a book, Jen, about it. You should.
I'm fighting for the elderly and for anyone with dementia because I know I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah.
So
It's not easy, but
No.
listen, thank you for like bringing me onto your platform. Of
course.
You've, you know, extended I love you for it
And I
too.
love you back.
Thank you, you know,
course.
but you know, you just get to this point where it's, you know, something that you're going through and you realize that you're not by yourself. And that's what I appreciate about your stories and sharing it with me, because the more you feel like there's people experience it, the better you feel, the stronger you feel.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't always feel like that.
No.
So I
and you
appreciate
know what?
it.
Italian people got to start sticking together.
Well,
more.
that's what the league is.
Thank
So
God
we have
this league.
the
Let's talk
Italian
about that,
American
please.
Civil Rights League.
Let's talk about it, Jack. So
Yes, and I love that you guys are both active members.
Yes. They're gonna throw me
Active
out one day
member.
and be like, "Could you leave her home?"
No, but you know, a lot of the Italian American history is taken out of our school books. We're being erased. There's a lot of things that, you know,
Taking Christopher Columbus away.
We built this country, the things that meant something to us. I mean, we built roads and, you know, railroads and bridges and tunnels and,
Yep.
you know,
We
a lot
built
of
the
our
Lincoln
blood,
Memorial.
sweat
We
and tears.
built a lot of New York City.
Yes, lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into building this country. And to have a lot of it erased is something that we have to, you know, stand up for. A lot of things people talk about, and I heard you say on other podcasts about like the Italians not sticking together.
Yep.
We need to, okay?
have
We're
to.
a community. We
It's-
need
we need to.
They got to cut the jealousy, cut the
gotta
ego, cut the
stop.
whatever. We need to help build each other up, work
Yep.
together, do all that stuff. And, you know, really, a lot of the stuff that we do isn't just within our community. We're giving back to all different communities.
Yep.
You know,
You did school stuff.
Yes, school stuff. We got backpacks for kids in Harlem. We went to schools in Bronx, and you know, we're just trying to extend everything that we can, as well as preserve our culture. You know, we're fighting some battles in Massachusetts, even, but you know, it's the community is growing, it's building, and it's great that we're able to do that because it's very important for all of us and the
And to keep
children
our culture.
and the kids,
Yes,
and
Right?
yes.
It's important to keep that culture.
If everybody's
100%.
allowed to keep theirs, how come we're not allowed to keep
Listen,
ours?
and you know what the thing is, we're connecting on the 1%. There's 1% of the Italian Americans that have this mob tied to them
Right.
or whatever. So you have to look at all of the other people that also help build the space. And even if these people are within our community,
I'm sorry.
the family should be able to, you know, lean on other Italian Americans instead of being shunned out and everything else. So
Absolutely.
building a stronger community is very important, and we have to stick together. We're brothers and sisters in
We
this.
are.
You know?
It's
Yeah,
so
we
true.
are.
And you know, it's like we just have to. We have to stick together. I can't take the jealousy. Even the people on social media, I'm like, I look at these people. I'm like, why can't we all do well?
Listen, don't
Why
you
can't
love?
we
I'm
all
sorry.
do well?
really about
I get
that.
when I see somebody doing something, it inspires me.
Me
wanna
too.
do
I'm like,
more,
oh my
Me
God,
too.
if they're successful, I could be successful. And I think we just need to build that culture more and just look at each other's accomplishments and start praising it and stop saying, well, I'm not doing that. Or you can. If someone else is doing it, maybe that's not your space of strength, but we need to be
Right, you should
united
be
as
able
a
to,
community.
lean on someone to help you
100%.
grow.
Love each other's growth and accomplishments and just praise it. I mean, that's what I'm all about.
Well,
and I know
any
you girls are
Italian
too.
out there, we're going to tell them tell them about the Italian Civil Rights
So
League.
it's the Italian American Civil Rights League.
ICRL.
Italian American, IACRL.
IACRL.
.org. It's also on Instagram.
Yes.
I'm Jackie O on Instagram with 2 Ks. So, there's that page. Free Little Vic also on Instagram. And I created a website with all the articles and everything that is going on with his case. So, there's a few different platforms. The Italian Americans, I encourage you to join. Definitely join the Italian American Civil Rights League. You'll see all of us at the events.
So is Renee.
Yep, and if you're looking for her or looking for her, come over here. I can find them in 2 seconds. No, but I mean, we're all connected. Not the connected you're thinking, but no, we are. We're here to put our best foot forward and show unity and help the elderly. Definitely, that's a big deal. I love you to pieces. I love you
too.
very much. Today has been a really great day. I've cried my lashes off. They're like, I don't.
You still look beautiful.
I
You still look beautiful.
I
still look
cry.
gorgeous.
Thank you. I cry because I know her pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know her. I know it
Yeah.
personally. I know that pain personally.
Yeah.
So that's what makes me so emotional, and I have so much love and respect for her. That I'm watching a young girl fight. She's more interested in fighting and getting this done than maybe living her own life. And I'm watching it. I'm watching it as a mom too, because I'm much older than Jackie.
You have to, Jack. You
So
gotta live your life too.
yeah.
You have to. Don't let your whole life pass you away. I know you gotta
Yeah,
fight it for
I
your
know.
grandfather.
I'm focused, and we'll see what happens.
I'm on the
Stay
mission.
focused.
Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
Well, thank you so much for coming
Thank you
in
for
today, and I'd
having
love
me.
to have you back again, and we can
Thank
talk
you.
about the Italian American Civil Rights League again, and
That would
talk
be
about
awesome.
More information on your
information about your
grandfather's case.
grandfather's case. I'd love to hear what the status is. I hope by next time he's out.
Thank
I hope
you.
we're gonna pray.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
let's get him. Yeah,
Let's
let's
get
bring
him.
him a
In the
hamburger.
limousine.
Bring him over my house. I'm gonna cook him a hamburger. All right, please.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. And please hit and subscribe YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. Don't forget, because now we're all gonna come get you. Not only
Free
gonna
Little Vic.
Free Little Vic.
Free Little Vic.
Have a great day, everybody.